TK here, TK and Drinks, and it's another Wednesday, so we've got another Wednesday night interview happening tonight. Gotta come up with a better name for these. Oh, that's right, we're going with Inside the Mead Maker Studio. That's right, scrub all that, start over. What's happening, everybody? TK here. We got another Inside the Mead Maker Studio happening tonight, this Wednesday. We'll be joined with the cats from Illumination Meadery, my man Steve, Sam, and Kevin. Looks like they've already joined in over there, so I was going to get a little background, but we'll see if we can't shoot them a message. See if the internet doesn't cooperate with us tonight. Thank you all for joining me. I always appreciate when anybody ever pops their head in and checks out one of these videos that we got going on. Looks, I am getting cropped the heck out there. There we go.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know.
I'm doing excellent. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How you doing?
I'm not seeing. Oh, that's a little bit better reception there.
I'm trying. Sorry, I'm out at the beach. I apologize.
No worries. I'm doing incredibly well tonight. Thank you for giving some of your time today to talk about your brand and let us know what's going on with you guys out there up in Buffalo and whatnot.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, we got another join request coming in here. Oh, you guys got two accounts?
I probably joined from mine. And all right, who else is trying to join? I'm not with you.
It just said the meter was trying to join again, but I think we're good to go. If anybody else does pop in, I'll check their names here. But so go ahead and introduce yourself real quick. Let us know a little bit background about the meadery if you could, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Well, my name's Sam. I'm one of the 3 owners of Illumination Meadery out of Buffalo, New York. We started up maybe about 2 years ago, just home brewing. Basically, we got together. We all were going to beer shares together for a number of years. Beer shares led to drinking mead together. Drinking mead together led to us just thinking, hey, why can't we make this? So we all bought Ken Schramm's book, read it together, and we made some test batches, and we brought it to people to try, brought it to our friends, brought it to other mead makers, both locally and out of town, and got really good feedback. So we said, you know what, we could probably turn this into something. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, thanks for joining us, brother. Oop,
Just giving a little background on the. Oh, he's out.
And he's out.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we, we decided this is something that we wanted to do. So, we got the production space. We started making batches, and basically that brings us up to present. We got our stuff into like stores and everything, and then Kevin here, who just joined, he had the idea of approaching Mortalis Brewing and seeing if they were interested in getting a partnership together. And we approached them with the idea for the space. And what ended up occurring was they decided to open up their Buffalo tap room. And that is going to be the home of Illumination Brewing. So they're opening up their tap room in Buffalo, west Buffalo on Niagara Street. And so they're shooting for, what do we say, August 1? Hopefully, knock out.
Yeah. That's the kind of the idea date that they have right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully by August 1, again, everything takes time, but hopefully August 1, that'll be the Buffalo location for Mortalis Brewing, and that'll be the home of Illumination Brewery. So we'll, in addition to our production space in that same building, that'll be where people can come get bottles, come try stuff on draft, and get our merch and everything. So that'll be our home base. And for anybody that missed it, just joined was Kevin and Steve. Those are the other 2 owners of the meadery. And I know you guys didn't hear my whole spiel, but basically,
I heard most of it, Sam. I was just disconnecting off the Wi-Fi to get a little bit of a better signal outside.
Basically, I was just giving a quick rundown of the history of how we came together as friends and had the idea to make
Yeah.
mead and started making mead, and where we're at now with Mortalis.
Yeah. Who'd have known just a couple basement COVID shares would turn into something like this, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, no kidding. So you said that's been about 2 years that you guys have been homebrewing?
We were what, late 2020, early 21, so it's a little, I'd say a little over
Yeah,
two.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe
yeah,
two, two
it's
and a half.
right around the 2 year mark.
And you
Yeah.
guys had you guys like approached Mortalis, who anybody who's not in the beer world, they're a pretty big cat in the game out there, and brought your meads to them, and they liked what they were doing. So were they already in the process of bringing the tap room to or to like the New York, or did you guys approach them with that idea, or
No,
how'd that whole thing go
So
yeah,
down?
they're
so the relationship with Mortalis goes back pretty long, since pretty much when they opened up, and really we just got to really know the owners, Dave, Paul, Josh, and I think as far as our roots philosophy, we base a lot of how our mission statement, our philosophies are, and how they ran. I mean, talking with them, just how they grassroots got their product out into the Rochester market, and had people try it, and that just really kind of was the same kind of model we wanted to go for, to get that natural organic growth. And so we put them in high regards when we first started this off, of giving them samples and really going after, as far as asking them on their opinions, like even though they're brewers, we just want to kind of get in that space and understand, and have people that we judge their opinions on to try our product. And when they were kind of giving us the indication that we had something, I think that's when the wheels were in motion to even begin this. And then, continuing to, go out and spend time with them, really fostered this opportunity. I mean, it came across coming to go pick up a barrel from them to use for one of our batches, and it was just the right time, right place. Talk to them, and they put the wheels
they
in
were
motion from there. Once we showed them the space and kind of gave a presentation. So, I mean, a lot of
Wow.
credit to them after the fact to want to be in the Buffalo market and pick up from there, and for them wanting to work with us in this regards, in this space. And I think it all came back to just having a good relationship and starting that all the way back, and that was probably 2018-19 when I really got to know them well. So even before we even had this idea.
To your point, though, they're
Yeah.
based out of, for anybody who doesn't know, they're based out of Avon, New York, which is right outside of Rochester. And we kind of knew through friendship with them that they had the idea in mind of opening up a Buffalo location. And through our friendship, we were able to reach out to them and present the space. Stephen put together a really good presentation of the space that we had our eyes on ourselves, and we're able to bring that to them and bring it to their attention, kind of sell them on that being the location for where they wanted to open up that Buffalo location. And then
Yeah.
based on us bringing that to them, we were able to get that, be able to have the opportunity to be in that space and make Mortalis the home of Illumination Meadery.
Yeah. But as far
So
as philosophy, I think we're all pretty much the same, as far as we want to push the boundaries and stuff. And I'll let Steve talk more about that. I mean, Steve's really the one that goes through, and he's hard pressed on all the processes. So he's the right one when we want to talk ingredients, want to talk about what we want, how we want to put things together. Steve's the right man right here.
Absolutely, I always love talking about that stuff. So you guys have a combined, like, did you all start brewing around the same time, or do you guys have like one person that's been doing it longer, or did you guys all just at these COVID shares just kind of got together and formed a group and just started going from there?
Kevin and I actually, so we had gone down to Tampa Bay Beer Week in 2021, and it was right when Pie Road was opening. So I know you have them on the roster to talk to them. So I was actually a member in their original membership club. And we were flying out Saturday night after being there for most of the week, and Matt was actually opening Pie. Their grand opening was that Sunday, so we were just going to miss him. So I shot him a message and asked if we could stop by, pick up bottles, just check out the space, and he let us in. And we were hanging out with him and his wife, and just kind of talking to them about where they came from, what got them into Mead, why they wanted to do it. And they were coming from the health insurance world, and all three of us actually, ironically, are all in different forms of insurance. So we kind of were at a share like a week or two later. Actually, it might have been like a month later. But Kevin and I were just kind of talking amongst ourselves in the corner at the bar, and we're like, if they did it and they're having success with it, they got good at it, like, why can't we try this? And then Sam overheard us and was like, I'm in, let's do this. So we bought Ken's book together, all read it, and then day one all started at the same exact time.
Okay. Man, that's a
a very unique way. I don't see a lot of guys or people, for that matter, anybody coming up like 2 years from buying Ken Stram's book to co-brewing, or I don't know what the term is for it, but you're basically working with one of the biggest names in the craft beer world. That's a huge step in my book. Do you guys feel like you're up against a Goliath of a task to be able to keep up with the rabid supply from like people that are shopping from them?
So that's kind of, I mean, we're to be honest, we're a very small operation. We're only making, 4.5 barrels at a time, and in a cycle of batches, we're making about 4.5 barrels total. So, it's super small. We're excited to see what the demand looks like. I mean, obviously, people are going to be coming in for Mortalis. We're going to have a section of the taps in our own menu and bottles and stuff in that tap room. So, we're just kind of excited to see where it goes and where it takes us. I mean, we'll scale up if we need to. If we're right in the right range of production, then that's where we'll stay. But this is a passion project for us, and we're not going in with any set defined goals. If this blows up and becomes a permanent, job for all of us, that's awesome. Yeah. If not, we'll see what happens. But we're excited to be with Mortalis and see where it takes us.
Yeah, and I think we've tried to prepare to the best we can. I mean, we have plenty of stuff ready to throw on tap. We tried to brew to be, ready and anticipate what was, what could come, and just want to be safe and that. So we have plenty of things that are, ready to go, and we've kind of tried to plan out for the potential of if we do have those first couple months, especially summertime, people want to be out and about. So we tried to plan as much as possible to make sure we had stuff ready to go, and we have a little bit of backups in case some stuff kicks quick. And we got some stuff going in the pike right now, and we got some barrels that are pretty close to being ready to be bottled. So we got a lot of stuff that's coming up too, actually, and it's that we were kind of planning on for this to let sit 6-8 months down the road, so we'd have stuff ready to go that has to wait.
I'll say this: if the biggest problem is it's selling out too fast, I think that we're in a good spot. So
yeah,
we really definitely what to expect with Mortalis. It's obviously they're huge, and we expect a lot of foot traffic, but we just don't have a frame of reference for this. So obviously we hope for the best, and like I said, if we're in a position where we're out quick, that's the best problem that we could probably hope for. We
Absolutely.
can use that to start and getting new stuff on tap. So it's a very exciting time for us.
Do you have any direct mead competition there in Rochester or in where? So the tap room is actually going to be in Buffalo. So do you have
Buffalo.
Is there any mead? Yeah,
there's about three to four local ones, I'd say, right now that are out there. But we all coexist. We all coexist really well. We've actually been trying to plan Sugar Belt and Manic. They kind of do a little festival there. We've been in talks to kind of get all the rest of them. We really think of the area as a community, and we can all work together. We all kind of do a couple different things. Lily Bell down in Lancaster, they do a little bit more of a drier style. But what was that?
There's about 3 or 4 meters in the local area. I wouldn't say that any of us are in direct competition with one another. It's more about the fact that we all inhabit different spaces in Buffalo, and we're all being able to the more people that know about the product, the more people are going to be interested, and more people are going to try it. So between, I know Kevin mentioned Lily Bell, there's Queen City Meadery, there's Bee Spit, there's Wildflower, 810 is still making mead. Yep. So we're really happy to be in a position where we're going to be, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Wildflowers opened a taproom spot, but we're going to be the first actual, we'll be in Mortalis, but we'll be the first meadery. Our home will be the first in the actual city of Buffalo. There's going to be they're all open in suburbs around us. So right to your point, it's not really a competition. It's more about the fact that more people are going to know that mead exists, and it's something that is in that beer space, and we hope to bring in craft drinkers to just raise awareness of the fact that it is a drink that people are going to enjoy, and
I guess I didn't necessarily mean it in competition in like a negative connotation. I just mean there's other meaderies in the area. Actually, I think it plays to your benefit if there's already other meaderies in there. They've already done a lot of advocacy for you in the area, making your general customer base that much more aware of what mead is, let alone the different, styles and varieties and things like that. So I see it as a benefit. And that's cool that you guys are
Absolutely.
working together to form some sort of, alliance, community, whatever you want to call it. That's very, very typical of the mead community. You don't see very many beefs going on in the mead
Right.
world.
Yeah, and we hope to keep it that way, and I think everyone deserves to try all this, and like I said, get spread the word and all that. So we hope
Yeah.
that it stays that way, and so
Well,
far it's been great, getting to know all the other guys, the other owners, the makers. It's been good to get around there and meet everyone.
nice.
Sure.
So what is it exactly you're trying to show everybody? I've been looking through your Instagram page. You got several different flavors on there that all sound very intriguing. So give me a quick breakdown of like what's your first flavor, what's your biggest flavor, what's the because you guys, it looks like you do a little bit of distribution and stuff as well, which was I kind of get. I'll circle back around to that, but yeah. So what's up with all the flavors?
So I would say our main offerings are going to be our stills. Our melomels are probably going to be the things we put out the most. Since they're such small batches, we're trying really just to cycle through and make unique stuff and have a unique offering with every release that some people haven't had yet. We will have session meads on tap. We'll explore down the line of possibly doing some canning of our session meads. We do share a space with a seltzery that we'll have a canning line down the line. So maybe to be determined if we get to the canning section of that. But we will have a bunch of still meads, a bunch of session meads on tap. We have still meads in bottles and on tap. But most of our stuff we're just trying to put out variety. There's no really one style I would say that we're going to do. We'll do methylglens, we'll do traditionals, we'll barrel age.
I would say our black currant seems to be the one that people really do like, though. I feel like everyone always comes back to the black currant. I feel it's always a popular one.
Your flagship, you would say.
Yeah, if I had to put one on it right now in our early times, we've done a couple batches, and it always seems to do well. It's one of the first ones that always sells out when we've done a couple of the festivals. It seems like we go through it quick. So I would say in the early staging, but as to what Steve said, we do want to try to have a good rotation, bring out new flavors, do different things, and try to push the boundaries a little bit. That's what makes us fun. We watch Mortalis do that with their stouts and the hydras and all their other things, and we want to kind of do the same thing. What can we do outside the box as well as in it?
What does that look like? So
sorry to talk over you, but one of the things that to build on what Steve said, like he's dropping names of different styles of meads. I don't know if everybody listening knows that there are different styles of meads. Mead drinker, like heavy mead drinkers probably do, but one of the things that we want to be able to do is showcase the different ways that honey can be used with different fruits. So melomels is what we think that is one of our best offerings. That's going to be a honey wine added with fruit. That's what we really like to make a lot. But then methylglens are going to be made with different spices. Like most recently was our gingerbread that we released. So with a bunch of different gingerbread spices.
Lavender rose.
Yeah, lavender rose we got cooking that should be released very shortly. But basically just what we want to do and to address the prompt would just be like showcase the different things that mead can be. So it's not going to be one specific flavor. We love our black currant. We've released the different raspberries, but more to the point, it's just going to be we want to showcase the different ways that mead can be used to explore different flavors and really present that to an audience that might not be familiar with the different ways that you can use mead.
And we have a little bit of advantage to being able to use a little bit different types of honey as well. A lot of the meaderies in New York, which I guess would set us a little bit of different apart, is I think mostly all the meaderies around us in New York use New York State, the wildflower and clover, and we go outside of that. We'll use like orange blossom when so around our area we do push it in terms of different flavors due to the licensings that we have. So we're able to kind of extend the boundaries of what's already kind of out here as well. To kind of add to Sam's point of showcasing different honeys and that. So we have a little bit of an advantage of a thing going that way where we're offering different styles of honey, and as he mentioned, to get to try those different flavors.
You've mentioned some big names, like you said. You mentioned you bought Ken Schramm's book. You mentioned Sugar Belt Festival being put on by Manic. You're throwing out some big names and stuff there, but what do you feel is going to set you apart from those guys? If they're the ones who are inspiring you. I'm looking down your list, like you said, Orange Blossom, honey with the black currant. You got the cotton candy grape one. That one's, fairly unique that I haven't seen a lot of those. The pumpkin pie, the gingerbread, those both sound delicious, but I'm not seeing anything that's like new and groundbreaking. Like, when I saw that you guys were teaming up with Mortalis, I was just expecting something like heavy hitting, something crazy, like quadruple adjunct, something that's pouring out like syrup or sludge out there, in the best way possible. That's one of my favorite things about Mortalis. Like, those hydras are so intense and so flavorful, and they're same with their stouts. They're just so big body and full. What do you have that is going to, like, and I'm sure this is, you can only have, proof of concept and so many different things, but do you have something like planned that's like this, like grandiose, something that you guys do have a bottle club, so I'm assuming that those guys are getting different things than the day-to-day cats are getting, right?
Yeah, so we've done different types of rare fruit. We did the pink glow pineapples, just kind of like a one-off for members. So we've done some, we are going to use some exotic stuff and things like that. So we've done a few things, but like, as far as I know, we do want to have some kind of traditional roots set in, and if Steve, you want to jump in or and add to that, I know we've kind of all done planning on throwing different flavors. We do sit around and try to throw stuff at a wall, see what we think might fit, and and that. But I mean, I think we do have a traditional style route where we want to showcase things, and I don't think everything we want to have has to be groundbreaking. I think there's a lot of beauty and a lot of people not knowing what the style is to begin with. I don't think it has to be, how I've seen like Nectarius do those very smoothie style ones when they kicked off and stuff, where I think they were kind of hitting the market a little bit different. I think those are good for, either one-offs or different things in my mind, but I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it's going to be something we're going to heavily try to showcase and always do that sense. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think occasionally that it does make sense. You want to throw something out there that's a little outside the norm and groundbreaking, but I think overall, just want to have a consistent, good product that people want to buy, bring home, and have other people try and such like that, and grow the community again.
No, balance isn't it's not a sexy term in the craft beer industry, but I would say that you see a lot of the way a lot of meaderies have started off is they started off home brewing, they got really good, they kind of did grassroots crowdsourcing where they got bottles out to people, got the hype built up in the secondary market and trading, and then people would try it there. So you're getting those super thick meads, intense flavor, very sweet. We're kind of going the opposite, where we're doing this very small, starting from the ground up, making the product, letting people try it, kind of let the word grow organically from there. I would say that we want mead sweet, right? I mean, it doesn't all have to be. It can be dry, tannins, acid. There's a lot of ways to kind of affect the perceived sweetness, but I would say I want to make a bottle of mead that has a lot of flavor that people want to drink a whole bottle of. Though a lot of the meads, even the meads we love that we enjoy drinking, I don't think I could drink a full bottle because it's just so damn sweet. There's so much sugar. It's like coating your teeth, which I love in a small format.
Great for shares. Great for shares.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I would say some of our bottles, like our member bottles, we'll get a little crazier with that stuff. We'll use the heavy fruits. We'll, higher gravity, fuller body. That stuff is going to be for our members in the smaller batches, and then we'll have, we'll bring cool stuff to festivals. We'll plan stuff out for that. But I would say our core offerings, what you're going to see on tap most often, is going to be balanced, where you're going to come back to and say, that was really tasty, that was delicious. I could drink a full glass of that, no problem, and come back for seconds. That's really our goal.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's especially.
All that said, keep an eye out for. We're going to start releasing some barrel aged stuff soon that I think is going to have really elevate some of the stuff that we've been putting out already, and I think it's really going to be something that people are going to want to keep an eye out for.
I'm excited for it. It sounds delicious.
We're sourcing some very unique and interesting barrels that I think I can speak for all three of us to say that we're very, very excited to get into people's hands.
Yeah,
definitely.
Some of them that go back to the original conversation of how we even got this whole thing rolling with the tap room.
Gotcha. So you guys already are operating commercially there in the area, because I've seen you have, again, coming back around, have some bottles out in distribution, and you're doing like tap takeovers at different events. So talk a little bit about what's going on with those tap takeovers and about the products that people can pick up out in distro in the wild.
Yeah.
So distro is all done in house. Sorry, Steve, you can go ahead if you want.
No, but yes. So I was going to say, like Sam said, we're doing all of our own distro. just kind of a little more bit of a backstory before we kind of got in. The reason we're looking for somebody to take over this tap room space is that we originally had partnered with a cidery that was operating a tap room in the front of the building that our production space is at. We're kind of segmented off in the middle of this building. So we originally were going to partner with a cidery. And while we were in the process of getting our licensing, things kind of fell through with them, and they were looking to get out of the space, so they were trying to find somebody to kind of take it over from them. And we just didn't have the time, energy, money between just jumping into production to take over a tap room and staff it, and we just weren't there yet. That wasn't part of the business model. So that's kind of how we got into Mortalis. We got Mortalis in to kind of help us and help them, kind of win-win for both parties. But because of that, now that pushed our timeline back. We were expecting to have a tap room open in January, February, and now we're looking at August, end of summer. So because of that, we did a lot of pop-ups just to kind of get awareness out, say, hey, we're opening soon, like we have product, come try it, get our name out there so people are familiar with us. So when the tap room opens, there's a base of people that are ready and excited to drink our product. And then also being able to bring it into bottle shops and liquor stores and stuff, wine stores, just so people can kind of get an idea of who we are and get to know us a little bit in our products. So when that tap room opens, they're ready to come and they're excited.
Yeah, cool. So locally, we're in a number of places that you can find our bottles. You can find us at Caputi's Wine and Liquor, Noble Roots, Fresh Catch Market in Williamsville, Brewed and Bottled, Beer Keep, and Nickel City Brews. For anybody that's local, should know those, at least some of those names.
Yeah, we keep our website pretty updated. Anytime we drop anything off to like a new store, we have a new account that's added. So until the tap room's open, that's where people will find us. But we try to stay on top of that.
And you guys have a website people can visit? Do you have like a Vino Shipper account, or are you planning on getting one of those?
Yeah, so our website is illuminationmeadery.com. Vino Shipper, honestly, Vino Shipper would be a good problem to have. That means there's a lot of demand, which means we're upping our production. So if we get to the point where there is that much demand and we start jumping up our production, let's say maybe 2024, we can look into upgrading, getting into Vino Shipper and doing some national shipping. Members, when we open our membership up for 2024, we'll post that on social media, but that'll be about December-ish. We'll open a membership signups. If you want to join that, we'll have the proxy opportunity. So we have a ton of local people that'd be willing to proxy. So that's kind of the model we want to go with right now. But if it gets bigger, then Vino Shipper will be on the horizon.
Hey, that's always a good idea. Not overstep your bounds. Like, if you're going to be doing kegs and stuff there locally at the tap room, do distro kegs and bottles, or just bottles right now?
Just bottles right now. Yeah, Mead's just freaking expensive. So, to make money on a keg, you have to charge a lot, and there's some sticker shock there. So we prefer to keep the kegs in house, and the bottles are a lot more palatable for bottle shops to want to carry.
What, $11 for a 3-ounce pour?
Exactly. Yeah, bottle shops don't like to see that, but the pop-up events have helped us in that regards to kind of try to that point navigate the cost and try to make it cost effective for the venue and for ourselves. So doing the tap takeover events has been helpful too. So they don't have to commit to an entire keg. We can bring some bottles and do pours like that. Make things a little easier for them.
And those have been pretty successful.
Yeah, we've got good turnout. It's like I said, kind of the reverse. Grassroots kind of crowdfunding, working backwards and just kind of getting, talking to people, telling them our story, telling them the backstory on the product and kind of having them get to know us a little bit. So yeah, it's been working out well for us. It's got us a decent following. Mortalis, obviously took notice. When we as we go to more festivals, people are starting to, get familiar with their name a little more and try more of our products. So slowly but surely building up.
Big shout out to the Rochester Real Beer Expo. That was the first time we got to see people lined up, really long, decent lines for our stuff, and that was really humbling and very nice to see. And really,
very nice feedback when they're asking where they can find it out locally. Yeah, it's nice to hear when people want to find your stuff locally in their market and they're just learning about you or like you said, they're just hearing about it and they're trying to find your stuff. So it was a very humbling, cool experience and one I won't forget for sure. Being new into this, so.
Yeah, not to take over your podcast, but we will also be at the Luau. Just some shameless plug here. We'll be at Mortalis' Luau Festival in Rochester in July. So that's a heck of a festival. There's a lot of really cool stuff. We'll be pouring some special barrel-aged treats, but that tickets available if you're in that area of Rochester within a drive in New York. It's worth getting tickets to go to, and we'll be there.
Definitely. definitely. Yeah, anybody who's going to be in the area should at least swing by and check it out. The tickets, if I remember right, were fairly reasonably priced, and it's going to be some big names there. So, including you guys. So definitely, I'm always down to support any sort of beer and mead festivals or events like that. Just because, like you said, it helps advocate for the brands and get some exposure out there for the different products, especially the ones you guys are selling, and for the festival as well, because that, again, more exposure for everybody. It's one of those a high tide rises all ships type situations.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So you're interested in starting this thing. I mean, well, you're not interested. I mean, you are, but you're going through. You got all the paperwork in order. You got the building and everything. You're ready to go. What's the last big hurdle to opening the doors?
I would say right now it's Mortalis is kind of revamping the space to kind of make it more in their image. It was previously a cidery tap room, so that was kind of a very rustic farmhouse vibe, and but it just didn't fit Mortalis's vibe. They wanted to make it their own space. So right now they're doing some construction work, cosmetic stuff. And they have to do some, like get some licensing and permits and stuff to be able to transition into a tap room to have. So they want to have us. They want to have guest taps too. I know they do some collabs with Evil Twin and some New York State breweries. So they want to have some cool guest taps as well. So there's some special licensing they have to get. So those are the two big hurdles. There's some minor construction and then, waiting on New York State for some licensing. But I mean, right now, we're itching, we're ready to go. We have kegs piled up, like we're just getting sad looking at them, waiting to put them on tap.
Like I said, just trying to prepare and be ready for it. So we got stuff lined up and ready to go. So like I said, can't wait to be open.
New York State doesn't do anything fast, ever.
That sucks. And do you guys have like a big grand opening planned or anything like that, or is one in the works? I mean, a date to be decided based on whatever's going on, but is there going to be something like that in the works?
Yeah, I'm sure with Mortalis there will be, but I don't think there's a firm.
Nothing planned yet, but almost certainly going to be a big.
We'll do something. We'll have some bangers on tap. Mortalis will, I'm sure, roll out a barrel aged keg or two. They've said they want to do some barrel aged products, in Buffalo as well. So we'll do something fun for it. I'm sure we'll do a soft opening once we get some dates to kind of roll it out and make sure everything's running smoothly, and then from there we'll get something officially planned for sure.
You guys have any competitions that you're entering this year, or have you entered any in the past, or is that something that you guys aren't concerned about?
No, honestly, personally, for me, the way I kind of look at competitions, a lot of times it's trying to make a mead that's got to fit in a certain box. And I respect it. There's nothing wrong with competitions at all. For me, I don't want to try and fit in a box. I want to make something that tastes good, honestly. Like we'll put a concept of a mead together, and it's as we're going through it, you're adding stuff, whether you're adding tannin, you're adding oak, you're back sweetening a little more. It's very much the way we kind of approach mead. We have an idea of how we want to make it, but it evolves as it goes, and it may go in a different direction post fermentation. We might change. We want to make it a little drier, or maybe we want to keep it dry totally because we love how it fermented. So we just kind of approach it like an evolving organism the way we make it, and I don't know. Competitions to me always just seem like trying to fit in a box, and I don't like looking at me.
Square peg into a round hole type of thing.
Although I'm a competitive one by nature, so every now and then I try to push them. Let's just throw one in. Let's just try to get in there. I want to see a medal. Everyone likes to win something every now and then. So I don't know. I might push Steve into getting to do it at some point. I need something there. I need to be competitive every now and then at something.
Right.
Short. Not yet.
beer league softball doesn't quite hit the same.
There you go. Did any of you guys go to Sugar Belt this year or any previous years?
Yeah. We've all been to every single year.
Who's your biggest
inspiration? We went the first year. Honestly, Manic. Like not to
Standard's always been one we've enjoyed. Standard, I think for their, I think Standard really, when I went there for their sessions, just kind of blew me away when I first went there a couple of years and tried some of their session mead. I never saw some of the styles that they were doing, that they were putting out. So I really enjoyed what I think Standard has brought down there. Like I said, Manic's always a favorite. We have a friend that's a Pips member, so tough. You can't really go too far up than them. As far as as far as meaderies. So we got to try and experiment a lot of good stuff to really give us ideas. I don't think we're trying to exactly do what they do. I mean, we hope to do what they do at some point, but
Kevin and I are actually members of Standard. I'm sorry, not Standard. We're members of Manic. We have been for a couple of years, so that's how we ended up just hearing about the first sugar belt. But all of us went every year. Shameless plug. Really want to pour next year, so I will be pulling that membership card with Manic and asking them if we can come pour next year. But I would say personally, for me, just the way their concept and the way they approach mead, I really like. They look at mead as wine because it is wine, and they will make drier things. They will make, they'll get experimental, and they did a sizer in a Malort barrel with citrus. Like they'll do crazy stuff. They'll do crazy stuff, and it's not super sweet. It's not like you can crush a whole bottle. I mean, they did like a sparkling piment that was amazing, using these really unique white grapes.
The pineapple upside down unfiltered was pretty cool, and little nice wrinkle there. They've done some fun stuff.
If I had to pick one meadery just like to try to exemplify, it would be them. That's the kind of model I want to go to, where they do sessions, they do dry stuff, they do a lot of barrel aging, but they still push the boundaries of flavor.
I'm a huge Manic fan. Tony and Keith are two of my favorite people. I love those guys. Like, they're just
super nice.
Everything
awesome.
like you just said. Oh yeah, they do everything under the sun.
Different things they put out is definitely what we're going for as well. Just to be able to showcase all the different ways that you can use just mead
everything
to present a product exactly, and that I would echo those sentiments. Just the fact that they're able to put out so many different things under the umbrella term of mead, that really is inspired to see all the different ways that they can express that.
Yeah, those Elliots that they do are freaking amazing. I want all the blueberry meads. Give me all of the blueberry meads.
I like the habanero one. I like spicy stuff. That's something I want to push a little bit here. Hopefully we can test some boundaries there. I don't think we're going to try to go for like the hottest chip challenge, although that would be a nice little gimmick, Steve. I don't know. You think we want to get some Carolina Reapers in there? And
no.
Let's see if we can set some mouths on fire.
We buy some tips for the tapper. We can have that. So you have them as an add-on option at the tapper.
Get a hold of Pocky and Austin and team up and do like a collab thing, and actually make it like a legitimate thing. That would be freaking hilarious and
the 1 ounce challenge.
Exactly.
There you go.
There you go. See,
airline shots of dude. That's gnarly. But I'd be here to watch people do that. I did the 1 chip challenge, and that was good enough for me. And I don't know. Did you guys get any of that flaming hot Malort that was going around Sugarboat?
That's Sam. That's right up your alley.
Sam's area.
Now you just created a new mission for Sam. Sam now needs to find that because I don't think he knew about that.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there was flaming hot Malort. It was everything you would expect flaming hot Malort to be. So I'm sure you would have loved it. I thought it was the most wretched thing ever. About killed me.
So we were when we went last year for Sugar Belt, when we came in, one of our first stops, we went to Revolution and had lunch at the brew pub. And the guy, the server overheard us talking about Malort and stuff. Most of us hadn't had it. And just complimentary, didn't even ask, just whole tray of shots of Malort for us. And he's like, just take them. He's like, they're free. I just want to see your reaction. So Sam actually had it. He likes it. He's the crazy one. We all drink. I couldn't even finish mine. It was, oh, God. Yeah, it's horrible. It's like absinthe and gin had like a baby that is just the worst thing ever. Oh,
it was filtered
it was roasted over
through a gem sock. I mean, it's so gnarly.
God, yeah.
No, but I'm glad other people like it because that means there's more stuff, other stuff that's good that I can drink out there. So yeah, I'll allow it to exist outside my world. So you guys have a big 5-year plan going on? Is it to blow out your own tap room and ditch the collab thing? Is the collab thing like a permanent feature and you guys are going to start being featured in both locations, or what's the future for Illumination? I mean, I know it's a little bit, on the precipice and kind of, bad luck to foretell like that, but I mean, you guys have to have at least some sort of direction you're going.
Yeah. That space right now, the space that we're in, and that kind of area of Buffalo is really up and coming. There's a lot of development, a lot of new places opening up. Even the space itself is being completely renovated, and there's new places coming in within our space as well. So I would say, we're just waiting to see what happens. We're locked in production for that space for 5 years, so we're a year in now, about a little over, I think. So we're locked in for production there. If this blows up and people love our product and there's a demand for a tap room, that would definitely be in our plan. We can line that up. If it's one of those things where we're in that perfect niche where it works for Mortalis and works for us and it's a perfect situation, maybe we'll stay there. We're just kind of we're literally, it's a wait and see kind of thing. We're just, we're down to see how it evolves, and we'll take it we'll go wherever the ride takes us.
Yeah, don't want to necessarily put the cart before the horse, so to speak. It's as you mentioned, we're just so new that you don't want to. We there's goals, obviously. Yeah, like you said, the tap room and all that. But to me, it's hard to envision yet, just being so fresh in this. But God bless, we get there. I'll be. It'll be an exciting day.
Yeah. Having our own tap room would be awesome. We would love to get to that point, by the time we're, looking at our lease again and we can be, lining up another space. That would be really cool.
Nice. Well, it's good to hear that you, as you said, aren't putting the cart before the horse. Because I've seen a lot of meaderies that, don't have any, cool collab links to jump off on, and just go gung-ho straight out for mass distribution in their city, trying for nationwide distribution, trying for 25 flavors and every tap room under the sun, and it ends up just being this like real debauchery of a situation. You know what I mean? A debacle of a situation, a debacle of a debauchery situation.
Yeah,
and
well,
we're aware that it's a niche product, and we're just happy to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
The fact that
I think
the boost from Mortalis is something that we never, or it's a wonderful thing that happened, and just to see it, without, we don't, to really answer your question, we don't really have a set plan that we're going for, but just be able to see it grow organically and see where it takes us. The idea of our own tap room was always on the table, but just to see, we really don't even have an estimate of what's going to happen in the next 3 months, let alone 5 years. So we're waiting to see what happens and what our the community response is and what we do, and from there we can start making decisions on what we want to do. We're really trying to scale at an appropriate level and not try and overreach, kind of what you were describing, and just see what we can do in the community and grow from there.
Yeah, we just don't want to. The only thing we care about is not ruining the integrity of the product, whether when it's scaling up or whatnot, or how we try to do, like you said, stretching too thin. I think the one thing we determined when we were going to do this is make quality meads, great meads, and not sacrifice the product in any one way, shape, or mean. I mean, we try to do everything as organically and natural as as we possibly can, as Steve can say, and I think that's our bottom line is whether we're going to try to scale up organically and not try to do it too much where then you're trying to redo your recipes. We want to make sure we're always having that quality of the product there, and that's no matter what way or shape we try to go about it. I think that's going to be that's our main focus, one way or the other when we try to grow or expand or whatnot.
Yeah, repeatability is huge.
No, yeah. That's literally just what I was going to say. Doing these small batches, a barrel, 2 barrels, smaller, that really lets us dial in. I mean, we're not naive to the fact that we haven't been doing this super long, that we are new. There's fruits we haven't worked with. There's issues we haven't run into yet. So the ability to keep it small and continue to learn and evolve while we're doing this, that's huge for us to be able to stay flexible. And scaling up's always a challenge. I mean, going from homebrew to going to 1 to 2 barrel batches. The first couple we did, we're like, all right, there's some new challenges with this. But once we dial that in, learn what we do really well, learn what our staples are. Once we have a really good grip on that, then we can look at growing and getting bigger.
So you mentioned you're using different honey varietals, and you've got clearly a whole menagerie of fruits and adjuncts that you are using. Are you varying your yeast strains? Are you partial to one? How is that working out for you there?
So we use a lot of Lalvin yeast. You can they have a ton of wine yeast. They have a huge wine yeast catalog. So really, the yeast we're using depends on, and of course, the end flavor profile. What are we trying to coax out of the honey? What fruits or spices are going to be involved? Right. We kind of start with, we create a concept, like, what do we want to make? Do we want to make a gingerbread mead? Okay, well, the honey's the base. So what kind of honey do you want to use that's going to give us kind of that earthy, caramely flavor? And then, okay, well, what kind of yeast is going to help bring that out? And look at the different attributes of the different yeasts. Okay. And temperature plays plays a factor too. I mean, obviously Buffalo's got a really weird climate. It's really cold in the winter, and it gets really hot in the summer. I mean, it's like, it's 90. It was 90 the other day, a week ago. So, the temperature, if it's a little hotter in the meadery, you don't want a yeast that's going to, that can acclimate to that level. So we kind of come up with a concept and then build it from the ground up. The way a lot of the local places only use New York State honey. So in New York State, you can have a farm license, which means you can only use New York State honey, or you can have a regular license. The farm license has a lot of benefits, which is why local places use it. Financially, it's just a lot cheaper. It's an easier business model with the breaks you get. But New York State does not have tropical flowers, and it does not have, you're getting clover honey or you're getting wildflower. Really, those are your two go-tos. Right. So, early, that was the number one thing we would not sacrifice on when we started this. Like, we're going to do this right. We're going to use really wild honey and try to get really unique flavors, because trying all these meads, we know what difference, how big of a difference the honey can make when you have a mead that uses local wildflower flower that may not be super high quality versus, Tupelo or something like that. So that was something we did not want to compromise on. I want to make sure that we could, that's the base, right? That is literally makes up, the majority of your meat is that honey. So you want to make sure you're using a high quality honey. So we'll use, we've used Sean Harris in Hawaii. We've gotten some of his honey. He's given us some great honey. We had a really awesome coffee blossom mead that we made. So we use his honey. We use honey. We get honey from down in Be Natural down in, I think it's Savannah, Georgia, or Florida. They're out of OEB, Dutch Gold. So we really just look around to see who has the honey we're looking for. Yeah. What's that?
All the big names in the game.
Yeah. So we literally just look around and see who has, the honey that's gonna at that time of year that's gonna fit, what we want to make the best. As we get bigger, once we get into cycle and we have an open tap room and really cycling through products, we'll be able to plan ahead a little more and say, all right, certain honeys are only available certain times a year, and a lot of the big meaderies scoop them up. So we want to make sure that once we can forecast and the finances are there to be able to stock up on some honey, we'll get some of the stuff we might not have been able to get. We can plan ahead and really forecast. But for now, it's a lot of small batches, not super large amounts of honey, but it is all, from all over the U.S.
Very cool. I just went out and picked close to 30 pounds of apricots yesterday. I'm going to throw that into make an apricot almond mead. Not quite sure I'm going to incorporate the almonds yet, but I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, nuts are tricky. Nuts are definitely tricky, but that does sound delicious.
Dealing with oil is something that I've yet to have to deal with with any of my meads, anything that's given off the oil. Because I was thinking about going with like a tincture or like an extract or like an amaretto type of flavor, but I'm like, I really want to get like a true almond character in there.
Real nuts are the only way.
Yeah.
If you want to avoid
skimming stuff. Yeah.
If you want to avoid any kind of artificial flavor, the real nuts are the only way to go, unfortunately. But we did a peanut butter cinnamon mead, and we just roasted the nuts before we put them in secondary. And that roasting definitely drew out a lot of those oils, so it kept a lot of oil out of the mead. But you got this awesome roasted nut flavor. So obviously, roasting it changes the flavor a little bit, so you got to want that profile. But you could probably finagle it where it's a little, very light roast, just to help draw some of those oils out, so they don't get in the mead. But oil wasn't an issue in that one, but we did roast them pretty far. But even, you think you're the natural rules. You don't want oil in your mead and your wine, because oil will spoil and go rancid. But then you see Manic drop this crazy coconut mead that just came out to members. That's like full coconut fat, like it's got a film. They're like, we went all coconut on this. So I'm interested to try that, and don't want to be too scared of oil, because a little bit's okay. You can do some cool stuff with it.
Yeah, I'm dying to try working with actual peanut butter or like almond butter. That's what I was thinking about doing with this apricot. Was instead of using nuts, was using almond butter. Okay. And get like an all natural one that's like not blended, but it's separated with the oil on top. Drain the oil off and do some work on it, and just skim as much fat off the top as I can and whatnot. Because I think that would give it like almost like a modified PB&J, because everybody does their PB&J ones with like grape and sometimes like strawberry and stuff. But I think it would be cool to have one with like apricot flavors, or just some of those other unique flavors that you don't really see a lot.
Reserve flavors. I love that. That's smart. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Plus, apricots and almonds grow together, and I figure it's a decent idea to pair things together that live and grow together. They've got to at least complement each other somewhat.
Yeah, there's something there for sure.
Exactly. So we're running on about 10 more minutes or so. I was hoping you guys would join me for a little round of some rapid fire questions, just to get to know you a little bit better personally, and hopefully have a couple laughs.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. What's the first thing you think about when you get up in the morning?
Breakfast.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah, coffee.
Going back to sleep.
Yeah, honestly, that's the right answer. Yeah, that's the right answer.
I look at the clock and I'm like, 10 more minutes.
I'm the same way. I hate getting out of bed, man. Hot or cold?
Oh, cold. 100%. I run hot, man.
Yeah.
Give me cold.
Yeah, I gotta go cold. I mean,
Are we
we're
going
talking hot
outside
no
for?
humidity.
Yeah,
We're just talking about outside
we're talking hot
temperature.
no humidity.
I'll take this all day. I'll be out here all day.
Yeah, once it gets too humid, I can't do it. I'll take the cold.
Oh, yeah.
Cold all day, man. For Buffalo, cold all day.
Yeah.
Cold all day. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh.
Chris Specs. Corn on one
Oreos.
side, rice on the other. No sugar.
I think I'm
let's
going to go like Lucky Charms or something if you're talking like me in my days. Yeah, I love Lucky Charms, man. Give me those little marshmallows.
Whatever the Oreo one was, I forget the official name, but the Oreo cereal was my
man.
jam.
I think it was just Oreo. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, I was a big Pops fan. Those are my favorite, man. The little yellow devils or the
Pops.
delicious devils.
Oh, the corn pops, yeah.
You gotta have some level of sweet tooth to be in the Mead, so I love the sweet cereal when I was little.
Oh, hell yeah. I still love a sweet cereal today. Nothing better than a cold bowl of cereal for dinner sometimes, I say.
No, nothing wrong with that.
We got burgers, pizza, or tacos?
Pizza.
Yeah, I think I'd have
Going
to
rapid
pizza.
fire, man. Pizza.
Tacos.
Yeah, too many different variations you can do with pizza. Yeah, pizza's just the versatile all-around food you can go with. You can't go wrong with pizza.
Yeah, pizza big in Buffalo, so I'm the odd one out with tacos. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless they're DA
go
Taste
wrong with
tacos,
any of them.
man. DA Taste over here. Their tacos are awesome. That's a plug for them.
Dude,
Can't go wrong with any of them.
I'm here for all of the tacos, pizza, and burgers. I don't care. Give me the names of all the places. I'm here for all of it.
Should have thrown wings in there. Come on, we're Buffalo guys. I'm surprised you didn't say wings or do you like drums or fats? Come on, I'm waiting for those questions.
That's the answer.
So I've never had a wax salad, but I love wings. I love buffalo wings.
Superpower. All right, superpower. I would say I want to be able to fly. Yeah, I'd want to be able to fly.
Yeah, I was going to go close to teleport. Teleport was there. I guess I'd rather just get A to B anytime I want.
The experience of flying like that, I don't know, that'd be so cool.
So that's what I'm saying.
Sam, what about you?
Flying's attractive. I don't know. I think stop time. It'll take care of teleporting. I can get whatever I want without any time passing.
I like that.
Stop and get stuff done without having to wait a day. I think I'm going with stop time.
Do you age? Do you age while time stops? That's the question.
No, because I'm outside of time, baby. Time's
Okay.
moving
It's true.
on.
He's outside the time continuum.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is. See?
It's a
Sam's got his own beat. He's just going to live forever.
Exactly. I would like to fly. I would think that it would get rid of my terrible fear of heights, knowing that I wasn't going to, fall to my death. But I definitely love flying. I think that would be a legit one to have. We got, what's your first car that you had?
Oh, man.
POS Toyota Tercel 91 Toyota Tercel exploded on the 33 when I was about to go to Rochester.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, engine block blew up right before I got on the 90.
Oh.
So luckily wasn't on the 90.
I can't even remember.
Mitsubishi.
I can see the body. I can see the body of the car in my head. I do not remember the make of it. I want to say it was a Ford. It was this old white car, and you could you know the body of the car if you saw it. You saw them everywhere back in the day. It was old, but yeah, it was an old white Ford sedan, I think. I got T-boned pretty quickly. That one didn't last that long. I was like 16.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Glad you're all right from that. Jeez.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Well, that happens too. It happens to the best of us. What was the first mead that you ever tried?
I don't know.
Mine was a banger. It was Erica Red from Trans.
That's a
Eric,
good first one.
yeah, Eric the Red. That's and as soon as I had it, I'm like, all right, I need to know where this place is, and I need to go travel there and buy their stuff. And a couple months later, booked a trip to Trams.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
pretty sure
one I
mine
ever
was
had
one of the
was
Trams ones as well. I can't remember. I know I won a bottle from you once before on one of those side sites on Facebook.
Yeah,
And a
I think
razzle.
it was a
yeah,
Trams for me too.
probably.
I can't remember the name of the winery, but the very first mead I ever had was some local winery that, they did a pet project to make mead. And this was so far back that I was like, you know what? I really don't like this very much. And I think the first mead that I had that I really enjoyed would be Schramm's as well. I don't remember exactly which one. If it was, wait, which one's the hand? Is that that's the
That's Amelia,
Amelia?
I think, Loganberry. Yeah.
not Amelia, the foot, the Madeline. I think Madeline was
Madeline?
the very
Yeah.
first craft mead.
Okay.
Same thing. Won it on a razzle and
Yeah,
was
Nice.
blown away by how much different
the duel
it
was
from
mine.
what I'd had from the winery. Just
The
night
duel
and
was
day.
mine.
The
Oh,
duel was your
God.
first mead?
That was
Yeah.
No,
that
that was the
was
first.
your
That was the
first
first
mead?
bottle. That was the first
Yeah.
bottle I
Okay.
got.
Yeah, I know you got
That
that
was the
from
one
me. I
I
remember
got
that. Yeah.
from Steve. Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
got
That's
from
a
Steve.
hell
But
of
the
a
first one I
bottle to
tried
come
was
up on.
That's a heck of a first
the first one I tried
Yeah.
was the Amelia. Actually, the Loganberry.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I think it was the
Oh,
Loganberry.
Tram. I mean, you see, like me, trams for almost all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madeline was the very first. Holy smokes, this is something.
Yeah, no kidding. So if you weren't going to be commercial mead makers, would you just continue your regular jobs, or are you done with your regular jobs and you're going on to bigger and better things regardless?
Damn, you can
I'll
start
I'd
that.
probably be stuck where I am. I can't say I can't lie. I have a pretty decent job. I can't complain. But man, yeah. I mean,
Go.
Mead's the passion. I do feel it. The work pays the bills right now. But yeah, if I couldn't do anything, I'd probably still be doing what I do. I mean, I don't hate it necessarily. But
I just quit my job. I started a new job on the 27th.
Oh, there you go.
So
Still in insurance though, so let's hope
yeah,
this meat thing starts paying off.
Yeah,
Right?
we're all
If I
on
never have to explain
insurance.
a deductible again, I'll know I've made it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would probably stay where I'm at. I mean, I work for United Healthcare, so it's like Fortune 5 company. So I don't want to leave. I wouldn't leave it unless this opportunity goes well.
Just goes through the roof.
Yeah, which hey, that's the goal. That's the
That's
hope.
the
that
dream,
is
man.
that is the goal.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have jobs you can at least back up on it. And see, like I said, it seems like you guys are going about this, it as hastily as you're doing it for somebody who hasn't been in the game for that long. You seem to be, doing everything the right way and trying to, to not make all the mistakes of, learn from the mistakes of people of the past and not repeat those things. So it's very cool to see that you guys are doing that. Anybody out there who's not following Illumination Meadery, you need to go do so already. Hit them up on their website, Illumination Meadery. I think you probably get on the waiting list for the bottle club on there. And like I said, follow these guys, and they'll be sure to let you know where you can get their bottles and when they're going to be doing different bottle share. You guys still doing the tap takeovers after the tap room opens?
We'll still do pop-up events and stuff, sure. I mean, if our place ever wants to have us, we definitely come out and let people try our stuff. We might push it out a little more, further out to some different regions. Maybe, go up to, for people not familiar with Buffalo, Niagara Falls is pretty far away, but maybe go up there, I mean, we'll have somewhat of a Rochester presence, hope to get over there. But yeah, I mean, we're happy to do some tap takeovers if people want us.
For all of our big
if anybody's
announcements,
interested
please
in
follow
that,
us on Facebook, Instagram. Anything that we're doing comes up on there. And if you're an Untapped user, we're on there as well. So you can also look up stuff we've done and stuff that's coming out on there as well.
there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it very much, Steve, Sam, Kevin.
Thanks so much
Thanks
for
for
having
having us
us.
on, man.
Thanks for having
This is an awesome time. I'm glad to meet you and glad we got to do this.
Yep.
Absolutely, man.
Glad to meet all you guys as well, and hopefully we can link up at an event in the future. I'm sure we'll run into each other.
Absolutely.
Man. Take care.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your evening.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. That's the cats over at Illumination Meadery in the Rochester, Buffalo area. I don't know. I think it's in Buffalo, but near Rochester. but they're going to be doing that whole thing. They're going to be taking over that whole New York area. So be on the lookout for everything that those guys are doing. Illumination Meadery, Facebook, Instagram, and then hit them up on their website as well to stay up to date with all that information. I'm sure they got a newsletter, and if they don't, they'll have one soon, I'm sure. And if you're in the area, stop in, shoot me a message, let me know what you think of their meads. I haven't had any of their stuff. I don't know anybody who's had any of their things. If I do, I haven't heard about it yet, so I'm dying to get some personal knowledge about that stuff. So thank you guys, everybody. Next week we'll be on with Pie Road Meadery out of Tampa, Florida. So I'm looking forward to talking to those guys. That will be on Tuesday, not on Wednesday. So thank you all very much. Have a good rest of